Meet aZapatos, a 17-year-old Mexican-American Rocket League player known for his 1v1 prowess and popularizing a mechanic so much that it got named after him. Listen to the end to hear his journey so far, his aspirations for the future, and an exclusive interview getting to know him beyond the game. aZapatos started making a name for himself as early as February 2021, when he took part in the Next Gen Season 2 tournament and made it all the way to top 4, ultimately being eliminated by Daniel in the finals. But it wouldn't be until over a year later, in September 2022, when he finally broke into the mainstream. A huge opportunity arose. The first ever 1v1 LAN featuring top tier 1v1 players. Turf Wars was a 1v1 LAN organized by Rizzo and JamesBot. It had a $10,000 prize pool and was certain to bring in thousands of viewers. 4 players were directly invited to the event, and a further 8 had to fight it out in a qualifier for the last 2 spots. As you can probably guess, aZapatos was one of those 8 competitors in the qualifier. But he wasn't just fighting for a chance to make the LAN, he wasn't just fighting for a piece of that $10,000 prize pool. He was fighting to make it to the biggest stage of his life. aZapatos dreamed of making RLCS one day, and this was his best chance to put his name out there and prove why he shouldn't be ignored. With the stakes higher than ever before, aZapatos came out of the gate swinging and promptly lost match 1. It was disappointing to be sure, but it wasn't over. There was a lower bracket to climb from, although it would be a long journey and only one player could emerge out of the lower bracket to qualify. But aZapatos never gave up. He won series after series after series, including a rematch with the same player Cam that beat him in upper bracket round 1. Ultimately, it came down to the lower bracket final, where aGaPos faced off against aZapatos for the final spot in the LAN, and aZapatos showed up. It wasn't even close. A 3-0 sweep where aZapatos won by a combined 8 goals. It was a huge moment for him. He cemented himself as not only one of the best 1v1 players, not only earning a spot in the LAN, but he gave himself a chance to be in the limelight and get his name out there. And aZapatos continued to turn heads in the LAN itself. He was competing against RLCS pros. All 5 of the other competitors had made it in the RLCS. aZapatos was the relative unknown compared to players like AJ, who was coming off a top 4 finish at the World Championship. aZapatos played well. Despite an early loss in the upper bracket quarterfinals, he turned it right around in lowers and beat Evo 3-1. A huge victory that cemented him into the top 4 and proves everyone watching that he could compete at the highest level of 1v1. Then he played a close match against RazeBull, ultimately losing in a disappointing Game 5, but still a massive performance for the relative unknown in aZapatos. This tournament, Turf Wars, put him on the map. aZapatos was unknown no longer, and that meant he had eyes on him. And those eyes began to notice that aZapatos had a signature move, something he returned to time and time again to get an advantage in 1v1 matches. This allowed you to wave dash immediately following the jump and gain instant speed. aZapatos took full advantage of this mechanic and frequently used it, so much so that people began to call it after him. aZapatos had a very interesting shortened version of his name, Zap, that matched the feel and look of the mechanic, and thus it became known as the Zap Dash. This mechanic got ever more popular as time went on, and although there were competing names, including Donkey Dash, ultimately Zap Dash is what stuck, and that is how everyone refers to the mechanic to this day. But there was one more goal for aZapatos. He wanted to make the RLCS. Being known in 1v1s is great, being a top 10 1v1 player in North America is fantastic, but he had bigger dreams. He had a larger vision. So aZapatos made it his goal to qualify for the RLCS in the 22-23 season. And despite his best efforts, his team, X13, didn't qualify in the fall split. They did well, making it to top 16 in Open Qualifier 1, and all the way to top 12 in Open Qualifier 2, just one win away from making it to the closed qualifier. That said, they ultimately never made it, and then disbanded for the winter split. And aZapatos continued trying to make the RLCS. With various different rosters in the winter and spring, he again came close, most notably in Spring Regional 2, where again his team was one win away from making the closed qualifier. He never quite got close to his goal of making the RLCS. But the story of aZapatos isn't over yet. The RLCS 2024 season is here, and he intends to continue his quest to make a main event. Only time will tell how far he goes and if he can finally become an RLCS pro, but one thing's for certain, aZapatos will never give up. Now that we've heard about aZapatos' past accomplishments and future hopes in Rocket League, let's get to know him outside the game. Listen in for a conversation with aZapatos around the pitch. First question, what is your favorite video game besides Rocket League?
Currently, it's Lethal Company.
Very nice. And what's your favorite team name that you've ever played under?
I think it's got to be Horchata.
And what's your most proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment is probably scoring a double musty at Turf Wars.
Is it called Rule 1 or Rule 2?
I think Rule 1.
Which roster move surprised you the most this offseason?
I haven't really paid too much attention to roster moves, but I guess Chicago to SSG.
What's your favorite holiday?
I guess Christmas.
What is the story behind you using the Sentio? It's kind of become your signature car.
The year I started playing, like 2017, this car came out in the Overdrive crate, and I saw it, and I thought it looked kind of cool. I was like 11, so I had no sense of style yet. So I got a hold of this car, and I started using it, and I really liked it. And I've been using it ever since. I haven't really seen a reason to switch.
And what job would you like to have after retiring from professional Rocket League?
I'd like to be an astrophysicist.
What's your favorite TV show?
I don't really watch too much TV, but I guess The Office.
Last but not least, who is your greatest inspiration?
I guess I don't really have an inspiration, honestly.
And with that, aZapatos, go ahead and take your best shot.
Okay.
Very nice. Wow. Pogo. We got multiple flip resets. Pogo, Musty, my goodness. What was that? Like, actually, what was that called?
Oh, I got a reset, then I did a 360 MacTuff reset, then a Pogo, and then just like another reset.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, thank you very much, aZapatos. So where can people find you?
People can find me on my Twitter. My handle is aZapatos, and my Twitch, aZapatosRL.
Thank you so much, aZapatos, for the interview. Please check him out at twitter.com/AlexZapatos and twitch.tv/aZapatosRL. You won't regret it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more interviews like this. I've got some more RLCS pros lined up for the future. You're not going to want to miss it, and I'll see you guys next time.